experiment here, and I know I'm not supposed to do this, but what the heck? It's Larry O'Connor here. How are you? I'm so glad that you're watching me live right now. I don't know if you are watching, and I know that this is unsafe, and I shouldn't do a live stream while I'm driving. But I have a Tesla, and it has autopilot, and I'm watching things, and I'm not really looking at you. Well, I'm looking at you now, but generally speaking, I'm not. But see, here's the thing. I got the autopilot, right, and it's sending me to where I'm going, and I'm driving down the road, and it's a cool car, and I know the lighting is, lighting's pretty good there. So I figured I'd just, what the hell, do a quick live stream and get you guys on YouTube, sort of being up driving from the radio show, O'Connor and Company, that we do. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you have any, questions or comments or whatever, we can do that. Oh, and I can flip the camera so you can see where we're headed. Like right now, we're heading to Washington on Route 50. There you go. See that? How exciting is that? What could go wrong? And listen, at worst, you're gonna, this is gonna be a really exciting snuff film. So, I shouldn't even say that. See, I shouldn't say that at all. This is not my car, by the way. I do have a Tesla, but my Tesla is a Model Y, and it is currently in the shop. And so they gave me this loaner. And by the way, for everybody who, it's really funny, there was a big argument at the Tesla dealership. When I dropped off my car, I had an alert. There's something going on with my battery, and I couldn't charge the entire battery on my car. It wasn't getting a full charge for some reason. And I know there's a lot of Tesla haters out there, but you know what? Deal with it. I love my car. It's a great car. And so I had to take it in for a repair on the battery. And there were a couple of other people there that were like waiting for their repairs. And I dropped it off, and usually they give you an Uber certificate, so you can Uber to somewhere from the Tesla repair shop, right? So I'm like, hey, I didn't get the email with the Uber certificate. And the dude's like, oh, because we have a loaner car for you. And like all the people at the Uber shop are like, hey, I wanted a loader, I wanted a loader. Hey, watch, hold on, I'm going to change lanes, and I want you to see the car does it for me. So all I do is say change lanes, and look at, oh, I thought I showed you. Oh, shoot. All right, well, I meant to flip the camera there. Well, there you go. And so it just changed lanes for me. All right, anyway, they all said, hey, I want a loader. I asked for a loaner. And, their repairs are that day or next day. And they're like, we don't have any loaners for you, but they have a loaner for me. And so, part of me is like, yeah, that's right. I'm a big shot. I get a loaner. And then I realized when the guy was like signing me out with my loaner and everything, I was like, this means my car is going to be in for a long time, doesn't it? And he said, yeah. So my car is going to be in the shop for many weeks. Apparently it's a major battery problem. Not sure what. I'll let you know. Anyway, so they gave me this loaner Model X, which is a bigger version. It's the one with like the gull wings and everything. And it's got full autopilot. My regular Tesla does not have full autopilot. Where here, this full autopilot, all I do is like type in my destination, which is the Town Hall Salem offices in Rosslyn, Virginia. And then I put it on autopilot, and it actually basically is driving the car for me. I'm still keeping my hands on the wheel just in case something stupid happens. But it's nice. I kind of like it. I do. I kind of like it. Anywho, we're heading in. So the TV show tonight, we're going to feature my friend Amber Athey, who is a reporter for The Spectator, and of course, she was my co-host on my radio show up until a few months ago when she was unjustly fired from the show. That I'm still a little bitter about, but I'm getting over it, I promise. She's going to be on because she's got a great story from Georgetown University. The medical school at Georgetown University is basically getting the students there on board with hormone blockers, puberty blockers, cross-sex therapies for minors to get them inculcated into the transgender medical dogma, basically. And we've seen this from Vanderbilt University, we saw this from the University of Virginia, Boston Children's Hospital, Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. One thing that makes the Georgetown University issue that much more egregious is this is a Catholic university. That we really expect much from our Catholic universities in this country, but you know what? We expect more from our Catholic universities in this country. So Amber had this breaking story. I think she talked about it on Tucker for about 5 minutes on last night's Tucker Carlson show. We're going to have her in studio with all of the screenshots that she has from the training session that these medical students have gone through, and she's going to be in studio for us for a full 10-minute segment on set, and we're going to go through this thing meticulously, step by step. It's one of the great things about this show that I'm doing now is my segments are all 9 or 10 minutes long, and I can really dive deep. Oh, I'm going to change lanes again. Here, watch. So all I do is turn on the indicator, and there it goes. It changes lanes for me. It sees, and if there's a car in the lane, it will, there you go, I just changed lanes. And I didn't have to do anything. Its cameras actually see the cars that are in the lane that I'm changing into, so it won't change lanes. So it's nice. Autopilot is nice. It's the wave of the future. Deal with it. All right, you guys are dying for me to get into an accident, aren't you? You would love it. You would love for this live stream to end with a terrible car crash. You're awful, awful people. I love you. So Amber's going to stay in studio for that, and we're also going to have her for a second segment, because I don't know if you saw this Ulta Cosmetics video segment with this guy he's like 200 days into transitioning. He's a guy, he's an actor, a musical theater actor, thank you very much. And he's basically, I don't know what's going on with himself, with his mind psychologically or whatever, but what he's presenting to the world is basically him playing a character. He is playing the character of what he perceives to be a stereotype of a woman, a young woman his age. And he's playing dress up, and it's happening before our eyes, and now suddenly he's being celebrated, and because he's an influencer, because he's got a lot of TikTok followers. And so Ulta Cosmetics has given him a contract, because beauty is for everyone, right? And fine, okay. I don't begrudge the guy using makeup and dressing up however he wants. I guess my issue with this, and what I'm going to talk to Amber about, and what I want her, because she's a young woman, like literally a young woman. She's not getting a contract for cosmetics. She probably should. But what bothers me is, to me, what this guy is doing is tantamount to a minstrel show. It's tantamount to wearing blackface. And it's, instead of being condemned for the atrocious stereotype that it actually perpetuates, like a minstrel show would, it's being celebrated. And my instinct tells me that it's wrong and discriminatory, and it's almost erasure of real young women. If you look at drag queens, if you look at drag shows, if you look at so much of what we're seeing in mainstream pop culture that is passed off as transgender activism and transgender representation, if you dig 1 foot deep below the surface of it, it's really perpetuating pretty offensive stereotypes of what it is to be a woman, thereby working out to be erasure of actual young women in our society. And I don't think it's something that should be celebrated or promoted. But I feel like as not a young woman, as a relatively older man or a middle-aged man, it's not really necessarily, it is my fight because I have daughters and I have a wife and I have women in my lives, and I think it's something in the degradation of our culture. But frankly, I'd rather bring on somebody like Amber or another young woman who feels passionately about it and have them make the argument. So that's what we're going to do on the show tonight. So we've got that. We've also got somebody from Heritage Action, where they're doing a lot of grassroots work right now for the midterm elections, and she's going to talk about what you can do right now in your state to be a part of this election, not just a bystander, not just somebody who's rooting for one side or the other, but actually engage in this election, because it's a very important one. So we'll talk about that, because it's something that matters to me. I really like to talk about not just politics, because I hate the cable news right now treats electoral politics like ESPN treats football season, right? It's all discussion of strategy and who's up and who's down and who's winning and who's losing, and it's not about you. I mean, our nation's political conversation is a conversation about you and your lives and what you're dealing with and how it affects you, because this is real stuff. You got to vote like the future of your country depends on it, because it does. And so we're going to talk about not just what's going on electorally, but how you can be a part of it. through Heritage Action. So we're doing that tonight. I can't remember what else is on the program today, to be honest. I'll know when I get to the studio, and we might do a live stream there in studio today too. Because what I've found now doing this television show, we're in our third week. I hope you enjoyed our interview with President Trump, by the way. I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything about our interview with President Trump a little later in the week. But what I've found now in our third week of doing this TV show is I've got a lot of downtime in studio through the course of the day while we're doing camera blocking and rehearsals and working on the scripts and all that stuff. So I've got time to do lots of live streams while sitting on set. So I'm going to do that. All right. So I'm getting a lot of text messages while I talk to you. You can hear it through the car. So we'll do that. Anyway, this was an experiment of a live stream while I'm driving to studio. If you like it, I don't know if you're watching live because I'm trying not to watch the screen too much. But if you enjoyed it and you want more of these, either driving to the studio or driving home from the studio or whatever, let me know. Just go ahead and put it in the comments there, and make sure you not only subscribe, but you hit the notify so that you can get alerts whenever I do go live, because we're going to be doing a lot more live streams over the course of the next couple of months. All right, thanks, dudes. We'll see you later. Thanks for being part of what we're doing here on our YouTube channel. We'll talk to you later.